please, everyone, help me welcome Elijah to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. I am so honored and blessed to be here with all of you. And how many of you here give speeches before? Has anybody ever had their notes and then got up on stage and was like, what the hell did I write down? Kind of the situation right now. So if it's okay with you, I'm just going to come straight from the heart. Is that okay? This is by far probably the most meaningful talk I've ever given. Because this talk, what I'm about to share with you, may not appeal to the entrepreneur in you. But I am praying that the next 10 minutes appeals to the human in you. Because just like you, I joined Genius Network because I heard that this was the place to make money and make great connections. And Genius Network absolutely delivers on that. For those of you who have been a part of Genius Network for a while, you know this. And for those of you who are just experiencing Genius Network this weekend, you are realizing that. Just in last month's meeting, I watched Genevieve Boss give Devin Bandison some of the most prolific advice any one person can give in 30 seconds on his business. Genius Network is absolutely known for delivering on their promise. But then you hear Joe talk about Genius Recovery. And I'll be honest, I wasn't here for that. I was here for the connections and the money. But then he kept talking about it. And then he gave this speech about how life gives to the giver. And eventually, Andre invited me to the prison, and I said, you know what? Let me go give. And so here I am thinking I'm going to give these women at the prison something. And I was so wrong. Because when you first get to the prison, keep in mind, you don't get to keep your cell phone. No smartwatches. All of your connections to the outside world is gone. And then you have to surrender your ID. And they give you a little badge. And you take that little badge and you walk through these gates. And when you walk through the gate, you see this big brown door. You hear it just slam behind you. Wow. And that's it. You're in their world now. And the first thing you may see when you walk through the gates is a woman in shackles. And let me tell you, that will send shockwaves through your body. Because you will see things, hear things, think things, and feel things that you've never felt before. Because here you are in a maximum security prison with some of the most dangerous people in the world. And the first thought you might have is, should I really be here right now? Was this really a smart decision? Am I safe? And for me, the first thing I had was judgments. Even though I've been in jail before, I still had judgments about what some of these women may or may not have done. And then you start to ask yourself, what can I possibly share to make a difference? Because your experience may not be anything close to what they're experiencing. So you start to second guess what value you can bring. And then a little white bus comes. And usually when I go, because I go 2 to 3 times a month, it's Nyla and Alicia. And they drive you all the way to the Santa Cruz unit, which is the most dangerous unit in the prison. And it's the one we typically go to. And you walk through the door. And your heart starts racing. Your mind starts wandering. You start asking yourself again, am I safe? Because it's like being in a shark tank, but there's no gate. Anybody ever went, right? Diving with sharks, but no gate? That's what it feels like at first. And then you sit down with them, and you have a completely different experience than you possibly could have imagined. Because you start to realize that these are some of the most loving, caring individuals you've ever met. And I know you might be thinking to yourself, well, how could that possibly be? That person may have killed someone. That person may have robbed someone. But after sitting and talking to them, you realize, hell, you're just one bad decision away from ended up in bars right next to them. One bad day and you could be in a cell right next to them. And then you start to talk to them. And for me, it was one of the greatest experiences of my life because we talk about being at rock bottom, but it is a completely different conversation when you have a full-blown conversation with someone who is literally living at rock bottom. It changes you. Because you realize just how Joe says, it's hard to have a bad day when you just met someone who's never gonna go home. It's hard to have a bad day when you meet a mother who may never hug her children or grandchildren again. It's hard to have a bad day when you can leave that place and go to any restaurant you choose, but knowing you just left a place where they have to eat whatever they're given. It's hard to have a bad day when you leave that place and you go home and sleep in your warm, comfortable bed, knowing you're safe. But you just had a conversation with someone who hasn't had a moment's night's rest in years because they're too afraid if someone's gonna come in and take their life while they're asleep. It's hard to have a bad day after this experience. Everything in my life changed. About 1.5 years ago, my wife called me and said that she was pregnant with our daughter. Any girl dads in the room? I panicked because I didn't know how to be a father to a daughter. But these women taught me how to be a father to my daughter because firsthand, I got to see what neglect looks like. I got to see the end of the road to neglect. And being with them became less about what I was giving them and more about what they gave to me. Because these women helped me face parts of myself that I had been avoiding for years. Because when you walk behind those gates, all the veils are removed. It is a primal experience. And on top of that, you begin to realize just how fragile life can be. A simple bad day can put you behind bars for years. Anybody ever had a bad day? Anybody ever had a good day and just didn't get caught? And then you start to have conversations with them, and it humanizes them because you realize these are mothers, these are daughters, these are grandmothers. And you start to release the narrative that watching TV has given you. And you start to realize that these are just human beings who are looking for grace, just like at some point you were looking for grace. We all hit rock bottom. Joe talks about it almost in every meeting. But who was there for you when you hit rock bottom? Who gave you grace? Because here's your opportunity to give somebody else grace. And it's not about what you have to say. Get that out of your mind. Just being a human being and your mere presence is enough. They know who Genius Network is. We talk about Genius Network all the time. And so they are, when I say they are excited to meet you and excited to learn from you, that is an understatement. Are you with me? When you're willing to fly 27 hours like Alexander did, or just come up the street like River and Verrett did, or 5 hours like Carolyn Santos did, just to give up 2 hours of your life, it means the world to them and it changes you. This experience has changed my relationship with my wife. It changed my relationship with my daughter. It changed my relationship with my mother, even though she passed away from fentanyl in 2020. Because my mother was in and out of prison my entire life, and I got a chance to see what her experience was like. But I can only imagine if one of you had showed up and said one thing that changed the way she sees life and herself, and the impact that would have made on my family, even though you never would have met me, even though you never would have knew me. The impact you can make is 1,000 times greater than you can possibly imagine. Genius Network is 100% what I wanted and what I signed up for. But Genius Recovery, damn it, that's exactly what I needed. And I want to thank Joe and I want to thank Andre because this has been one of the greatest, profound experiences of my life. Thank you.